Hello, everyone. It's Friday, and that means it's time for the Ham Radio Outlet Check Chat. Yay! I'm your host here, Katie, WY7YL. Welcome here to my shack in Sundance, Wyoming. Oops, let me fix this just a touch here. I hope everybody's doing well. Today is July 31st. It is the last day of the month. Boy, 2020 is sure flying by, and I'm not so sure that's a bad thing, the way things are going these these days. Oh, I see Virgil's here and from where are you in from Massachusetts, Cape Cod. Oh, wonderful place. And see, I need to blow up my stuff here, make sure I can see everything. So Spike is in here. Hi, Spike. And I was chatting with Wayne already here on YouTube. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us over in YouTube. And I was saying hi back to Bob. He was trying to remember if I was 1 or 2 hours behind him from Missouri. So, and so it looks like things are going along here well today. It's a beautiful day. We apparently had quite a storm last night. I didn't realize till I looked outside and saw a bench and a fence had fallen over. Another chair had blown over, but I guess that's the advantage of sleeping with the windows closed because I didn't hear a darn thing. And hi, Lloyd. Nice to see you here today. And I guess my husband won't be home for lunch today. Hi, honey. And there's Richard. Hi. Oh, hey, Rick. There he is. And Mike. Yay. Over in Massachusetts. And who else we got here? And there's Al. There's my friend Alan from Connecticut. Alex is here from California. Great turnout today so far, guys. So nice to see everybody. I was going to have a guest on today, and unfortunately, due to a family issue, I wasn't able to have our guest with us. And sending out heartfelt wishes to Don and his family, hoping that everything goes well for his brother. This darn COVID is just affecting so many people, and it's just scary. And sending out my best wishes to Don's brother, Steve. Let me pop in. There's Kevin. Hi, Kevin. There's my friend and Todd. Hi, Todd. And Dan's here. All right. So got a good crowd here today. I'm waiting for our first DX. Where's our first DX to show up here today? So again, if you're just popping in, welcome to Friday, July 31st, Shack Chat. I'm your host, KDWY7YL, here for Ham Radio Outlet. Been a lot of fun things going on this past month. Been working, playing around with new radios and testing out new equipment. And we had a big project here at home, which I'm going to share some photos with you guys here in just a little bit. But I wanted to talk about a couple of other things before we dive into that. I do want to, again, thank Josh, KI6NAZ of Ham Radio Crash Course, for joining me last week on the show. That was a lot of fun. It's always a good time to have Josh on and talk about all the things that are happening. And if you are not following him on YouTube already, please do so. It's Ham Radio Crash Course and a lot of fun. Oh, here's some good. This is always good news. Glenn says his radio is on the way. Woohoo! We always like that kind of email. That's awesome. Yay, Glenn. Thanks so much for shopping with us, obviously. And glad you're getting your radio finally. So I want to take quick divergence here. I want to give a big shout out to a very special young man who had just received a wonderful award. And I tell you what, Christopher is well deserving. In case you guys hadn't seen the news, I wanted to share a huge congratulations to Chris Bro, KD8YVJ, who is the 2020 Bill Pasternak WA6TIF Memorial Amateur Radio Newsline Young Ham of the Year. Now, pardon me. He was, been the Hiram Percy Maxim winner back in 2015. He participated in the Dave Coulter Memorial Youth DXpedition down in Costa Rica. He and his dad went down there a couple of years ago. He's been a presenter at the Hamvention Youth Forum, which is part of Carol Perry's thing that she does every year, and also down at Hamvention. He's very active with he got his own ham club up and running, or reinvigorated really, at his high school. He also volunteers over at WC8 VOA, the Voice of America Museum. He's been a net control, I know, out of there in the past. He is a mentor for other young hams, particularly those who are interested in contesting. He does tours at the VOA. He and his dad, Jocelyn, KD8 YVJ, are very active in scouting together and have done a lot with the JOTA, the Jamboree on the Air in October. Had the Youth on the Air activity had taken place this year, which would have been in their backyard over at the Voice of America, they would have been helping to organize and manage that as well. Unfortunately, again, due to COVID, that event hadn't happened, but Christopher is staying very active. He's really into science and interested in becoming, I think, a pilot. And I was suggesting maybe he should go in the Air Force, but I guess he's not interested in that so far. But he's definitely interested in studying aeronautics. He's already 18. I don't know how that happened. It's been a lot of fun watching him grow, both literally and figuratively. I think when I first met Christopher, he was about, maybe about shoulder height, and now he's probably about a foot taller than me. I think he's taller than mom and dad at this point in time. And just a week or two ago, he and the family were at the wedding ceremony for Neil and his new bride. And at that event, Don Wilbanks surprised, actually the family. Chris knew it was going to happen, but he was given the award, the Bill Pasternak Award here at that wedding. And I thought that was really nice that Neil Rapp was able to share a little bit of his special day and let Christopher celebrate his wonderful award. And again, young people like Chris and Bryant and Ruth and others that are so active in amateur radio and are helping other young people involved. I think it's a great part of our hobby and something that we really need to embrace and celebrate. And I feel very lucky that I know Chris and call him and his family friends. And, that was one thing yesterday on Twitter. If you guys don't follow us on Twitter, you should, because I put some fun stuff up on there. But yesterday was the International Day of Friendship. And I thought, here's a great time to celebrate all of the friends that we make here in ham radio. Having been, whether you go to events, local club meetings, you're on the air, say on regular nets, you get to know people. And of course, through ham radio, I've met my husband. I've met my best friends in the world. I know people all around the world now, which is just, I think one thing that's very special about ham radio. I don't know many other hobbies where you can literally fly across the ocean and meet up with somebody who has the same exact hobby as you. And you can sit down maybe for the very first time. And it's like you've been friends forever. And I think that was one of the neat things. So I put together a little montage of photos of a variety of people from ham radio adventures over the past few years, and it just as a way to celebrate International Day of Friendship. And I thought, ham radio is just the best way to make friends and keep friends and lifelong friendships. And one of the things that's always fun for me is when you meet people for the first time at a convention, say, and maybe you've been friends on Facebook for a long time, or maybe you've only talked on the air. And then you could actually, as we call it, that eyeball QSO, be able to say hello in person. That's just it's a neat thing to do. And it really, again, it just cements that friendship. And I just think it's one of my favorite things about ham radio. And that brings me back to, celebrating Chris's, again, yet another achievement. And again, congratulations to Chris and his whole family, because they've all been so supportive of all of his ham radio activities and other activities as well. And good job, buddy. I'm really happy for you. Well-deserved and well-earned for sure. So let's see who else has popped in here while I was talking about that. I think I saw, there's Arnie. Hi, Arnie. And let's see. Oh, here's our first DX. I knew I had one pop in there. Hi, Michael. Thanks for joining us from Germany. And Robin from the UK. Hi, Robin. Now, Robin, for example, is one of those friends that I've made through ham radio, where we work together, we visit together when we get to go to Ham Fest. Sometimes we just do video calls on Facebook to catch up with each other. And then when our family went on vacation to the UK, we made he and his wife Ruth part of our vacation and spent a day and a half together in York. And that's again one of those wonderful things that ham radio brings together, is just finding folks that you can come together with. Here's our Israel friend. Hello. And and 2 Echo Zero Mike Hotel uniform, who is Ruth, and Robin is Gulf 1 Mike Hotel uniform. So hi guys, nice to see you. And Don's here from South Carolina. Hi Don. And let's see. Oh, Mario's here. I'm just grabbing everybody to say hello. So I threw out on our, on Facebook, we have a Shack Chat group if you're interested in joining. And sometimes we get to share some photos of projects and what we're doing. And I like to throw out requests. And there's Marty. Hi, Marty. Marty and Rosa must be coming up on their first anniversary pretty soon. We were out in Anaheim for their wedding last year, and I was hoping we could do something for fun. Alan, you were in my neighborhood at Devil's Tower and you didn't give us a jingle. You should have done that. That would have been fun to say hello to you in person. I always say, if anybody's ever taken a tour out this way, please do send me an email. I'd love to meet you. Okay, who else is here? Tennessee and Orlando. Hi, Ramon. Nice to see you here. Okay, so I asked for some photos of projects that you guys are working on, and I didn't hear a lot, but I did get a couple of photos, so I'm going to share those. The first one, let me pull up here. Okay, Mike. Now, you guys have seen, I've shared pictures from Mike before. I'm going to go full screen on him here. Mike is Kilo 8 Romeo Oscar X-ray, and Mike has been patiently or impatiently waiting for his antennas to show up. So he sent me a picture of his poor sad tower on the ground that is just waiting for some antennas. And of course, because of COVID, there's been quite a delay in, a variety of products making it out to folks, as you guys are well aware. One thing I thought that was really neat, now Mike's wife, Danny, is also a ham. She's Kilo 8 Romeo Oscar Kilo, and Mike, they put together this nice little she shed back there, and so I'm kind of jealous of her little she shed, so I just thought I'd point that out. And Ryan, November 9 Sierra Oscar X-ray 9 Sox. I'm wondering, Ryan, are you originally from like Boston or Chicago, like a Sox fan? Let's see. So he has, obviously, Ryan takes his radio activities outdoors and having fun. And so you can see he's got everything all hooked up, and then he sent a shot of it opened up. So look at that. That actually looks a little heavy for me to want to carry around, but that's pretty handy. He's got his bio battery, his radio, his tuner, and headphones and microphone over here. So he is ready to go. And he said currently he's working on a fan dipole that he can take portable with him. So I thought that was kind of cool. So thanks guys for sending those in. So White Sox fan, there he is. Yay, Ryan. I'll throw that up there. So, all right. I figured that might be the case with with a call sign like ending with an SOX. I figured it had to be a White Sox or a Red Sox. And of course I thought Red Sox first, being originally from Connecticut. And, New England, a lot of us are Red Sox fans, and my dad was a Red Sox fan. So it was kind of genetic that I inherited the Red Sox fan as well. But of course, now being married to an Atlanta Braves fan and living near Colorado Rockies, my heart kind of gets turned in different places, but I've really I love baseball. It's another great hobby and something to enjoy. Right. We're going to have some, there we go. The Cubs rule. Yay. Andy says. So I thought I would tell you guys a little bit about what we've been doing around here. We live in, as I've mentioned before, in the northeast corner of Wyoming, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And I know for any of you guys that follow me on social media, you've seen, I like to post pictures of our antennas and towers, especially like at sunset or when really ugly storms roll in. Because I tell you, some of the crazy clouds we get here make some fantastic photos. But usually it's kind of a little scary. But I thought I would give you guys a little tour of what's going on here at our house. And, it's not really a major project, but it's something that's been needed to be done for pretty much since we moved in here. But I'm going to show you a quick a few photos of what we've been doing. But first, let me start with this. So here is our house, basically. Over here is our 6-meter beam. This is, you can see the guy wires all over the place here. It's just kind of an angle. So if you don't know, my tower is not leaning. It's just always it's just the angle of the photos. I'm actually standing in my mom's front yard. So this is our 50-foot tower, which I always thought was really big until we put the 100-foot tower in. And I was like, wow, that really is quite big. And then it's kind of hard to see, but over here we've got our satellites antenna. So that's kind of just to give you a front row view of what we've got. Now, what I did was I took a picture of, took a little Google Earth shot of what we've got. And now I'm just going to tell you real quick. This is obviously an older shot because A, we've got a new roof, and B, the big tower is missing from here. So, but it still works for purposes. So I wanted to kind of share what's happening here. So back here, underneath this little part of our house in this bottom floor is where I am right now. And that's our ham shack. And right out here by this little apple tree is Tower 1, which is the 100-footer. And if I got these backwards and my husband's watching, sorry, honey, for today's show, the big one's Tower 1 and the shorter one is Tower 2. So now we actually don't have a huge chunk of property. I know a lot of times the photo makes it our photos that I put out makes it look like, but all this empty space back here, that's actually a ranch. You can't really see it, but there is a fence line down here. There's a 700 some odd acre ranch behind us that leads into the national forest. So it's like we've got a built-in backyard, but not really. So, and then this spots here, again, roughly, these are where we put the guidelines in when we put the 100-foot tower in. The 50-foot is self-supporting and with a whole lot of concrete in the ground. So just to kind of give you an idea. And then this red line here is where all the wires and antennas and everything else comes out of the ham shack and goes to the 2 towers. And just to give you an idea, the red roof here, that's my mom's house. That's WY7MOM. So I can actually peek out my window and see what mom's doing. All right. So to give you an idea, and then here's just another shot. This is from the side. So I'm kind of standing over here about where that guy line is to take this photo and then look up at the 2 towers. Again, the angles are kind of weird, but it's just to give you an idea of what we're doing here. And this little, if you can see it here, this little window down in the bottom corner. Here, let me go full screen for you. Maybe you can see better. That little window, that's where the shack is. All right. So this long-standing project is the fact that we have all these wires and coax and everything else coming out of the shack and laying in the grass. Now, I don't know about you guys, but after a while, it kind of gets obnoxious when you're out there mowing the lawn. And I generally mow the lawn because, quite frankly, I like to do it and it's good exercise. But, I'm mowing the lawn and inevitably I'm holding onto the mower with one hand. You're going to blow this up because I'm going to give you guys a good demonstration. I'm holding on to keep the mower running. And then I'm bending over, I'm pulling up wires and I'm kind of pushing the lawnmower under into different pieces. And then I'm flipping it around and move. I mean, it's a it's a feat of acrobatics every time I mow the lawn. And of course, as the grass grows, it works up around it. So then I'm yanking the wires up out of the grass and it just becomes a big old mess. And we really needed to get these suckers in the ground. And we've been talking about it forever. And it's just one of those things that, as you'll see in these upcoming photos, there's a really good reason why we didn't just, grab a couple shovels one day and start digging. But so as you can see that everything's pretty well lined up from the house and, this is kind of sitting on the porch and looking out. And we borrowed our friend's John Deere tractor so that we could, do some digging. And by we, of course, I mean Dwayne. So I'm standing here by the big tower and looking out. As you can see again here, there's just the wires and everything else is all over the place. And so took a can of spray paint, which I actually had bought to freshen up one of my flamingos, and the pink worked out pretty well. So pretty much to give Dwayne an idea of where he was going to be digging, that was the line there. And here, I'll pull myself back in here for a minute. And there was a first getting ready and set up. Now, this was the easy part of the job on the first day. And this was really because, as you can kind of see, it's pretty well open there, and he had a lot of room to move the tractor around. Now, here's a better angle for you guys. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. Hang on one second. So, as I was mentioning previously, I was talking about the ranch, and, so back there's the ranch, and then all these trees here are leading into the national forest. So that's why it always looks like we have this massive yard, and, it's just kind of not really, but it's really nice for a view, obviously, and great for photos. So Dwayne was able to get in here and really dig pretty easily, and went down. I think it was about 18 inches he went down to be able to get everything buried, and he was planning on putting 3 conduits in the ground. And so let me let you know what we were doing here. Let's see, let me go to the next photo for you. Okay, so here's after the first batch is dug into. Now, one of the things I'm going to mention here, if you've listened to me before, I've mentioned this, but Dwayne is a controls engineer, so everything in the shack is automated. It's part of his fun and hobby, what he likes to do, make sure everything works. But so there's a lot of antennas, there's controls for the rotators and tower, for everything. So basically the plan was to get the feed lines, the remote antenna switch lines, the rotator control lines buried, and then we're also going to run some power out to the furthest tower, which is going to be really handy because next year we're planning on putting a chicken coop in way back there, and we're going to need to run some power to keep those guys warm, or those girls warm in the wintertime. So basically, what you can see here is he's getting the conduits ready. And so here's the first one laid in. It's got the, that stinky purple stuff that helps the glue stick better, and the stinky glue. And so we had 3 pieces going. And so as it's coming along, here's the first piece. And my job was eventually to hold these pieces upright. This is when we put our big tower, and you might be able to kind of see that we all put our call signs into the concrete when we poured it. And so as the project's coming along, now remember the reason I said why we didn't dig any of this by hand. If you can see, there's just enormous rocks in here. It's just really, really rocky ground and not easy to work with. And as a matter of fact, when we were digging to put that tower in and that concrete, we were using the same tractor because we borrowed it from our friend again, and ran into some rock. We just couldn't even get through. So ended up having to make a run to the city 30 miles away, renting a jackhammer. Took about 3 minutes with a jackhammer, broke through that rock, and then we were able to finish the project. But that's just kind of what we run into out here. And it's not the easiest thing to deal with. So having a friend with heavy equipment really comes in handy. So if you don't have a friend with heavy equipment, make one. So let's see. So, okay. So this is just kind of the progress. Dwayne's getting everything put together down there. The last piece of conduit's getting settled in there. There's me. I was actually working on fencing and other projects in the yard, but like I said, my whole project was to help hold things upright while he was getting it all set into the ground. So that was my proof that I actually did help. And so there he is, just kind of pushing everything back, and we've still got quite a project ahead of us to do all this. Now, the difficult one was the next day. It was getting from the tower to the house. For 2 reasons. One is there's a lot less space to work, but also we had one of our grounding rods was in there, and it was in so well. Dwayne thinks when he put it in, it went into a rock, and we just couldn't get it out. So we had to end up going down into the ditch and sawing the thing out of there and be putting a new one in. But so, and as I mentioned, the wee star is really Dwayne, and he just made a comment, which I'm not going to share on the video, but so he has done the lion's share of this work, but I get to take advantage of it. So I'm actually standing in the stairwell into the shack and taking a peek out. So as you can see, all of these conduit pieces are going out. And then what's going to happen is they're going to go up into a control box once everything is fed through there. So after the last of the conduit was put in and buried, we covered it all back up again. And so that's kind of what it looks like in the yard at the moment. You can see the pieces are up here on the ground and ready for the box. So what I'm going to show you next is just another quick view here, and just looking out. It doesn't look too bad after a bunch of rain we've had. But here over at the tower, this is the far side tower right up against the ranch. And so you can see these pieces are coming up, and that's what's going to be joining into the box. So here's the yellow. This is what's in the middle. This is by Tower 1, and we'll be heading out over to the box. And then where the red tips are, those are going over to the house. And oh, sorry, that's a really bad photo, but kind of want to give you the idea. Here's what's coming out of our house. And this door here is what goes into the shack. And that's where I'm hiding. And so inside, as I mentioned, here's some of the all of the control system. It's Alan Bradley. And so we've got everything labeled. And it goes up out the house just above. So all of those pieces that you saw going out of the house go up here. And so this is our grounding area here. So when we're ready to get on the air, we just unplug and plug into the appropriate antenna. So what I did was I popped out again this morning first thing, because I wanted to grab a couple of new photos. So I went way out by the ranch and kind of peeked through towards the house. And so you can kind of get a view of what we're dealing with. There's still a ton of rocks and mess we've got to work with. And of course, as soon as I show up outside to take pictures, the cats all have to come look. But as you can see, and these were the smaller rocks, but we'll be out there with the metal rakes and cleaning this all up. But as you can see, the wires are still there because Dwayne's still got to filter them all through and get the boxes up. Now, when I'm talking about the boxes, that's these right here. We've had them out in the driveway for a little while, but he's going to be putting all of the automated stuff into the boxes out on the outside and taking some of that out of here, out of the shack. So that where you see these pipes coming up, there's going to be a box here. And then out here, there's going to be another box there. And what I'm going to do probably is in a future episode, I know Aldi is asking what's all that Al and Bradley stuff doing. It's an automation system to make everything work. So we've got the programming here on the computer, and it goes to the box, tells which antenna to move, and making sure that if we have both radios on at the same time, that they don't interfere with each other, and so on and so forth. That's a really simplistic version of what we're doing here. And then this is just a final view. This is, if I go out to the side yard and sit in the hammock, that's the view. So, and I think that is my last photo. So that's kind of a simplistic view of what we've been doing around here. But I tell you what, when you're working in our yard here in Wyoming, it's always, and again, by we, I mean Dwayne mostly. Yeah, PLC, Arnie's got it, right? He knew what we were talking about. It's quite a project, but it's funny. I know now after, digging into the yard, why we waited so long, because it is just such a bear of a project to deal with. And it's nice to have simpler things to work on, whether it's figuring out a new radio or, just building a fun new fun antenna. I know, Chip K7JA, who, of course is here at HRO with us. And, his hobby is, like, well, I've had a rough day. I think I'll go outside and build a new antenna. And so, that's why I was asking, so, for next week, I'm hoping you guys might share some info, like what kind of projects are you working on right now? Is anybody building some new antennas? Has anybody else automated their shack? I know that's not necessarily something that everybody embarks upon, but I know there's a lot of engineers out there that are doing things. So it'd be kind of fun to see. I've got a few people that have popped in to say hello, and I just thought I'd say a quick hello. This is obviously going to be a little shorter episode today, since I'm all by myself, and which makes me think of that song, but I promise I won't sing to you guys. And there's Sabri over in Turkey. Hello there. Let me make sure. I wanted to double check here. So I wanted to obviously throw a quick thanks out to our friend Dan N7WIO, who is the owner of that tractor who we use on regular projects. He's also been over with his Jeep, which has a really great winch on it, which is how we got that tower up too. So it's really nice when you have some local ham friends that can help you out with projects. I was chatting with a potential ham this week on Facebook through Facebook Messenger, and she and her husband are in an RV full time, and they obviously still working because they've got a super like Hughes, I don't know if it's HughesNet, but they've got like the 5G and satellite system so that they can still work while they're traveling. But, they were thinking, maybe we should look into ham radio as another communication option while we are out and about and, off in some forests and what have you. And it made me realize that, one of the things that, is really interesting, it's one thing we can obviously, give somebody a license manual, but that doesn't stop. It doesn't stop there. We need to take it to the next step is how can we, once somebody does get their license, where can we go next? I saw Bob commenting earlier on YouTube here about a lot of people get their tech and never go any further with it. And is it, what is the reason for it? And, there's a lot of reasons. And I think some of it boils down to, what we can do locally to help each other out. And, we're really thankful that we have local friends like Bill N7QAX, who comes over to help anytime we've got an antenna project. All I have to do is feed him and he's here. And you'd see, there's Herb from our New Hampshire store, Cal, he goes by Cal. So just a reminder that if you do run into some newer hams, or if you're on a club reflector list, or if you're a club member that gets emails from strangers, and even if you're not really necessarily, meeting in person these days, you can still mentor via Zoom meetings or phone calls. Send them off to some YouTube videos that are of help. Hamstudy.org is a great place to get some information on getting your license, and of course, and even finding test sessions that may be remote or in your area. And of course, you can always call our stores, any of our stores. We're fully staffed by active and engaged ham radio operators and who know what's going on in their areas. So if you're in an area somewhat near one of our stores, give us a call and, ask your questions. That's what we're here for, and really look forward to helping you. Obviously, as you may or may not be aware, we are still closed to walk-in traffic due to COVID-19, but we are fully staffed. Our phones are on the line, ready to answer your calls. You can set up a phone call order for pickup. You can do it online and put a note that you'd like to pick it up. Also, if you just happen to drive up to one of our stores and realize you can't walk in, just give us a call. Find out, let us know what you need, and the team will put together an order and come out and deliver it to you at your car. So we obviously hope the best for everybody who is dealing with this virus right now. It's such a scary thing, but I think as long as we all keep working together and do what we can in our part, then eventually we're going to get through this together. And I know we all look forward to opening our doors again and welcoming everybody back. And I know a lot of you guys are out there jonesing for be able to go in and look at all the radios again and visit in the store. It's a big part of the hobby, especially if you're lucky enough to live near an HRO that you can go in and visit. So Wayne says, hey, we need one in we need an HRO in Florida. Well, you never know. It might just happen. So let's see. I think that's about it for this week, gang. I'm going to sign off. I really appreciate everybody visiting here this week and joining me. Don't forget to follow us on, if you're not already here on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram. Of course, if you're here on YouTube, please do give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. And, sharing is caring, so be sure to share with your friends. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. I'm Katie, WI7YL for Ham Radio Outlet 73, everybody, and stay radioactive.